Well, welcome to our next adventure. It's a super early 6:57 right now, and I'm heading about 4 hours and 1 minute away, about 229 miles away from home for this next adventure. A couple of days ago, I made a short, and in that short, I said that it is about time that I make some more videos, because I've been missing doing this stuff. I've been missing taking you along on some of these adventures, but life gets in the way, and sometimes we just can't do it. So today, bright and early, I got myself up, I grabbed my camera bag, hopped in the car, and here we go, off to an adventure that I've had planned for quite some time. But the first stop is to get a little bit of gas. I have to say that Washington is definitely one of my favorite states. If you look at how green everything is, anywhere you look, there's always greenery. And of course, we pay the price for having everything green because it rains quite a lot over here. Not as much as people expect. It definitely is not like a tropical rainforest or something, but we definitely get our fair share of rain. But for the rain, we get everything nice and green and blooming. But on the flip side, we also get a lot of allergies. A lot of people in this area suffer from tons of allergies, especially right now with all the grasses coming out. That's definitely the time for the allergies. And just like that, we hit our first patch of traffic. Well, what road trip isn't a road trip without some amazing road trip snacks? And I'm trying to go a little healthier now, trying to kind of change my diet a little bit, because I've been kind of falling off the bandwagon with eating things that weren't that good for me, like sweet things and sugary things and all the delicious things. But today I'm starting with a breakfast salad. One of these cool things, actually my favorite one is the cranberry and walnut salad from Safeway. That one's pretty good. I got some protein with some cage-free hard-boiled eggs. I have some Baby Bell cheese. I never see them in these packages before. That's a pretty cool package. It says 8 grams of protein. Now, hopefully that's each. No, for 2. That's something at least. And then a big bag of you can't go wrong with baby carrots, organic ones. And last but not least, do you guys like these things? The Ollipops? I have recently become kind of addicted to these flavors, and 5 grams of sugar or less usually, so that's not too shabby. Anyway, gonna devour on these snacks while I sit in this traffic, and hopefully we make some headway to our amazing final destination here in just a little while. We got like, what is it, 2 hours and 42 minutes left? Looks like something's going on over here. Well, I'm kind of in the deep part of Washington now, a place called Sedro-Woolley, Washington, and this town has some really unique and quirky things. As you make yourself a little deeper into the downtown area of Sedro-Woolley, you're met with these really cool statues, little wooden carvings here of different characters and their doggy trying to get up there as well. All the way down, seems like on both sides of this really cool looking downtown area. It's on both sides of the streets. They just kind of go all the way down, different characters. There's like a Bigfoot, a bear. Over here they have a couple of dolphins swimming around. Over here, oh, look at these guys. Looks like they are about to rob a bank. They got their money bag over there. This guy is trying to draw his gun a little faster than him. Looks like he might be the sheriff of the town with his big old mustache and beard. And over here we have a couple of curious bears. Looks like they might be a little scared to get down from this tree of where they're perched. Seems like they've been stuck up there for quite a while. And down below here is like a small Bigfoot, looks like, with a bird in his little bird nest right there, and a Christmas tree at the bottom next to his foot. Got some really cool looking buildings here, very old-fashioned buildings, and some more modern things inside, but this one was pretty cool. I thought this sign is appropriate. I wonder if it's actually true, if they have an attack cat inside, or if it's just a way to keep the prowlers from going in there. Got a unique looking store over here, has some black and white stripes on the top of that awning. Apparently, it's been voted the best small town store in the Northwest. They got some cool looking shirts. Seems like a Star Wars type. And they're happy that we're here. Well, we're happy to be here as well. So leaving Cedar-O-Woolley and driving about 30 minutes away leads us to the next place that makes this area really famous. So tucked away in a small little town here in Washington, not very far from where I was at, is a town that's actually named after something that you probably have in your own home. Welcome to the Washington town of Concrete. So originally this place was established in 1906 on 18 acres. It shipped the very first 2,000 sacks of cement to Seattle in August 1908. That's crazy. A lot of the historic things here were built from concrete from this particular plant. Now you probably can't tell exactly how tall this thing is, but this thing is massive. I want to say it's as tall as some of those hotels in Las Vegas. Very deceiving from far away. It doesn't seem that tall, but it definitely is. Now, I was thinking that'd be really cool if there's a way to get all the way up there to get a view of the surrounding areas too. Okay, here's a really cool fun fact as well if you're into like movie history. That sign up there, those letters, were actually not original to these silos. Those were painted in 1992 for a movie by Warner Brothers called It's a Boy's Life. They had artists come out here and design the letters to make them look like they were from the time period of the early 1900s, make them look worn and faded. This is the actual downtown area of Concrete. It's a pretty sleepy little town, but it has a really cool vibe. It looks like an old-fashioned, like Western type town. Got the old bank building right over here. And just a bunch of other smaller stores that really fit the area, making it look like a really old-time Western or old-fashioned type downtown area. Even over here, they have this really cool cutout that if you have a couple of kids, they can stick their heads through there and pretend to be one of these folks from this town. What city wouldn't be a city if it wasn't for having a massive bear as your main monument here? And I noticed that there's a button right down here. I'm curious to know what this button does if you push it. Should we try? Absolutely. Oh, hold on.
You woke me up. Well, that's okay. That gives me a chance to welcome you to Concrete.
That was pretty cool. I had no idea that button actually worked, but you push the button and the bear starts telling you the history of this whole town, including the history of the buildings and what's actually inside of them. That was actually really surprising. That was a good touch for them. And of course, what town wouldn't be a town without an old-fashioned phone booth? And calls are only 10 cents per minute. And if you forget that you're in the town of Concrete, they remind you by having these barricades right here made of pure concrete. Look at that. Another one right there and another one over there. It's kind of cool touch. Okay, that bear is still talking to me back there as I leave the area. Apparently he has a lot to say and not a lot of people to tell the story to. And right across the street, they have this super cool mural that is at the very end here. So when you look down of Main Street over here, you run right into this mural that almost makes it seem like it keeps going and going. But this gives you an overhead view of all the amazing things here in Concrete. And I can tell that back over here, they even have a really cool looking dam right over there. I wonder if that was made from concrete from this factory as well. I'm sure it was. Well, that is really cool. Oh, this was the old police department. And now it looks like it's a thrift shop. All right, I'm leaving this town because I don't have very much time before it gets dark over here. I have about an hour drive to my next spot. So if this town was made with, man-made concrete, basically it was built from that, my next stop is the complete opposite. It's more of a nature-filled place. Even though it was man-made, it still feels like nature. So let's head over there so I can show you why I brought you along to this adventure. So I've been driving for a little while and it feels like we're going in the middle of nowhere. And I could swear I still saw some patches of snow around here, even though it's a pretty warm day and there's no other snow anywhere. There is a sign that's like National Park and it had, I think it was snow on the very top. So that is pretty cool and pretty crazy. Yeah, look at that mountain. That's incredible. It's almost like a canyon, and there's more of them over here. I bet there's even gold in that mountain. That's so cool. So the last place I was at was famous for concrete. And over here, it's more famous for something that's naturally beautiful. Right behind me is Diablo Lake. And this lake is one of the bluest, most turquoise lake anywhere in the entire country. It is literally blue as blue could be. Obviously right now it's getting a little darker. It's about 6 p.m. so there's no direct sunlight on it. But even as it is right now, you can totally see that blue hue to this lake. It just looks amazing. They say the reason why this lake is so blue is because it has what's called glacial flour. It's almost like a sediment that's caused with the friction of the water and the rocks. And it creates these like microscopic little particles that allows the sunshine, the light to reflect off of it, making it look like it's blue like this. I asked ChatGPT if you were to take a glass of this water and take it home, would it still be blue, or does it require like the reflection of the sky to make it blue? And ChatGPT says, no, you actually take a cup of this water, take it home, and it will still look blue. Now, the only problem is I'm like, I don't know, 1,000 feet above from where this water is, and I can't reach it right now to even like touch the water. I'm gonna see if I can drive a little further this direction to see if I can get a little closer to the water level itself. But even from up here though, it looks amazing. Sadly, there's so many trees that kind of block the view, but I guess that makes the whole area feel more natural by having these trees here. Obviously, we would not want to have the trees, obviously. So let's keep the trees here, but maybe we can find a place that we can see the lake a little bit better. And on the other side of the road here is this really cool wall of just rock, and it's just nice flat area, and I can hear the water dripping off these rocks coming from above there. So it's not really a waterfall, it just drips of water coming down. However, I do hear a very loud waterfall type sound coming from this direction. I'm not sure if it's a active waterfall or what it might be, but it is really cool. And the hawks are flying around here trying to see who I am and if I brought them food or not. So it's cool, but that's the road. I'm gonna continue going to see if I can see this lake from a better vantage point. And actually from here, I can see a little island. That is so cool. There's a little island right in the middle of the water. I'm not sure if you can see that. Imagine if you had a little boat, you can go there and have a little picnic right on the island in the middle of this amazing turquoise lake. So I tried going the other direction on the road to see if I could get to the other side of the lake, but unfortunately the road is closed. You can't even go on a bicycle, so that is not good. I guess they have a lot of landslides in this area. However, the good news is I do see some of the water right over there, and it seems like there's a little walking path. But according to this map over here, it seems like where I am is not quite the main part of the lake. It's kind of like this little skinnier area down below. Take a look at that. It feels like I'm on vacation in another country. It's simply incredible. So I made it down to the level of the lake, and as I got closer, it is incredible how blue this lake actually is. I can only imagine if it was, middle of the day, it would probably even be bluer still, but it's just breathtaking for sure. So this portion of the lake, which I showed you on the map, is kind of an extension of where it was earlier. It's more of the narrow area. It's actually called Thunder Arm. And it's like the arm of the lake, but it still has the same water and still has a nice blue tone to it. So a lot of people say that the reason why this lake is so blue is because the sunlight reflects off of it, or the sky reflects off the top of the lake and it makes it look blue. But if you go online, it actually says if you grab a glass of this water and you take it home, it'll be just as blue as it is here, even if you're indoors. So we're gonna put that to the test. I have an empty bottle of water. I'm gonna go down over here and fill it up with some of this water, and then we can take a look to see if it's actually true. will this water still look blue when it's in the actual bottle, or is it just an optical illusion? So let me go ahead and fill up this water here, this water bottle. Whoa, it's really cold. All right. Let's see. Does that actually look blue? Well, I gotta say, it's a little cloudy, but is it actually blue? I mean, there's a slight tint of blueness to it, but it definitely doesn't look as blue as that. That's for sure. Right next to the Diablo Lake is this place called Gorge Creek, and I thought it looked pretty cool when I drove past it, so I had to stop here to take a closer look. But there's this bridge here that you drive over, has like a metal grating to it, and when you walk over here, it also has this. What's crazy is it goes in, it's such a steep area here where you're walking over. I'll show it to you here in a second. It's incredible how steep this is. You can hear the roaring waterfall coming from right over here. Take a look at that. That is so cool. So right behind me is the start of Gorge Creek, which starts as a waterfall right over here. It goes all the way down and then creates that creek that goes from here all the way across the street to that side of the bridge, and it just flows and continues down that way as the waterfall travels all the way down. Almost looks like a flume that it creates all the way down over here under where I am actually stepping, and you can see right through this all the way down the ravine. That is incredible. Wow. Well, I hope that you enjoyed going on this little adventure with me. If you would do me the favor and like and subscribe to the channel, that tells me that you enjoy this kind of content. That way I can bring you along to more adventures in the future. Until next time, hope you have an amazing day, and I look forward to our next adventure together.